What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another Turbo update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so as you guys can see, Turbo is currently down about 2.5% in the last day. And for any of you guys who have been following Turbo, not a whole lot has changed since my last video. The reality is that Turbo is still just consolidating. As I kind of pointed out in my last video, I would argue that Turbo is continuing to fill out another falling wedge. As you guys know, I do love to trade falling wedges though, so we'll see if this can break to the upside. Over the last several months, Turbo has formed several falling wedges, and oftentimes you can see we do get at least some sort of a breakout. We've yet to have one of these falling wedges actually break to the downside. That being said though, none of them have really put in higher highs though. It's usually a pretty small breakout, but we'll have to see what happens with this falling wedge. What we're watching is to see whether or not this top trend line or bottom trend line breaks first. Now, if we come over to the Turbo X account, you can see they currently have 112,000 followers, but they actually just recently had a partnership. So you can see that they posted 8 hours ago, Turbo is going supersonic with real world collectibles, and they've teamed up for a limited edition drop. This is the kind of thing that can actually gain traction for projects. We've seen projects like Pengu do very well in this regard, so I always love to see real world stuff happening. But this right here is a perfect example of why I always tell you what I tell you about market conditions. I know on paper this isn't a big name partnership, but the reality is major news right now is not going to have a major impact on price action. That's just the reality of the market right now. You look at Bitcoin, you can see that it's 101,600. You look at Ethereum, it's 3,300. More importantly, if you look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we're at 21, which is extreme fear. There is so much panic in the market right now. People are acting like Bitcoin is down at 50,000, 30,000. And I will show you later in the video why I do not think that makes any sense whatsoever. But because those are the emotions in the market right now, it's causing the entire meme coin market to drop alongside it. You can see Dogecoin as an example. The largest meme coin is down 12% in the last week. Even something like SPX is down 27% in the last week. And if you would have looked at SPX 2 days ago, it would have said down 42% in the last 7 days. And SPX has absolutely become one of the blue chip meme coins of this cycle. So the fact that you can get a 42% discount in 1 week is outrageous. Obviously though, if that's happening, you're going to have a lot of projects dropping alongside it. So you look at Turbo and you can see that Turbo's down about 15% in the last week. But if you look at all the projects in the same market cap range, down 15.8%, down 39.8%, down 12.2%. And then I always like to point out the volume. Turbo's volume is always very competitive. You can see that it's currently 20.7 million. And if you look at the projects right above it, 10.3 million, 15.6 million, 4.7 million, 47.4 million, 4.9 million. Really the only project that you're seeing doing very well right now is Giggle. And you guys know that Giggle has a lot going on with Binance and CZ right now. So that's definitely an exception at the moment. In general, Turbo's pretty in line with everything else. Now, if we actually click on Turbo, you can see that a lot of the volume is still coming from HTX. There's actually more volume coming from HTX than Binance, which is kind of crazy. But it's honestly good to see because it shows that there's a lot of nice volume distribution. A lot of exchanges have solid Turbo volume. Now, I do think it is very important though right now to actually show you some Bitcoin technical analysis. And I know some of you guys don't necessarily like to watch this, but the reason it's very important is because it has a major impact on the market in general. Obviously, the better that Bitcoin and Ethereum do, the better that a lot of altcoins are going to do. And I just want to point out a few things for Bitcoin, mainly the fact that we did retest the 50 weekly moving average. You can see right now that we are currently trading beneath this level. That said, this is a very important level and we won't know how this candle actually closes until Sunday. If price action can close a candle above the 50 weekly moving average, then I think this will be very bullish. The reason I like the 50 weekly is because if you zoom out, this is the level that the previous macro pullbacks have bounced off of. You can see right here, this consolidation period, it retested what level? The 50 weekly. Okay, then it broke out and it pulled back yet again and it retested the 50 weekly again. Then it broke out from there and now we are currently retesting the 50 yet again. This level has worked as support 2 different times in the past. Not to mention, I also want to point out that we have very oversold stochastics right now. You can see that those stochastics are clearly in the oversold region and we're forming a double bottom. Look at the last time we had extremely oversold stochastics. We had a very nice breakout. Okay, very oversold stochastics right here. Yet again, a very nice breakout. Very oversold stochastics right here. What happened? Another breakout. I'm not telling you that a breakout is guaranteed. Nothing is ever guaranteed with technical analysis. But the fact that we have extremely oversold stochastics suggests that there's a good chance we at least get some sort of a bounce. And again, the better that Bitcoin does, the better that a lot of other projects are going to do. If you look at Ethereum, we're in a very similar situation. Extremely oversold stochastics again. And Ethereum had a textbook retest on the 50 weekly moving average. And then the other thing that I want to point out is Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance, if it drops, is going to be good for altcoins. And as you guys know, I love trading falling wedges. Well, this is the exact inverse. Bitcoin dominance is actually in a rising wedge. There is a chance that this breaks to the downside, and if it gets hammered all the way down to the measured move, that'd take us down to around 52%. If Bitcoin dominance drops to 52%, that would be phenomenal for altcoins. And the other reason that something like that could happen is because it would take us down close to the 200 weekly moving average. Now again, is any of this guaranteed to play out? No, it's not. But there is a lot from a technical analysis standpoint that would suggest we are going to go higher eventually. Not to mention market conditions are continuing to improve and improve and improve. We already know at this point that quantitative tightening is coming to an end on December 1st. And then M2 global liquidity is continuing to increase, and we have had back-to-back rate cuts. So in my opinion right now, it is more important than ever to stay focused. Strong projects like Turbo have a very high chance of actually recovering. Understand that not every project is going to recover though. You have to find high quality projects. But that's about it for the update today. As always, if you guys are interested in Turbo, market updates, and just getting into projects super early in general, then I always recommend you take a look at my Discord. If you look at the all-time gainer list, we've hit some massive multipliers in here. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to have you guys in here with us. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about Turbo. If you enjoyed this content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.